The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
Now to the battle against COVID-19. And after months of study, the CDC director has given emergency approval for young children to get vaccinated.
The sign-off means 28 million kids from ages 5 through 11 are now eligible to get the vaccine made by Pfizer. NBC's Chris Pallone has the story.
Alex, Maddie, good morning. Child-sized doses of the Pfizer COVID vaccine have been shipped to doctors' offices nationwide, meaning many children could get their first shots starting today, and in some places they already have. In Connecticut, high fives and fist pumps as some of the first children in the nation under 12 got vaccinated against COVID-19.
We've been waiting for this day. It's going to bring us back to some normalcy.
8-year-old Addison Woodman says she's ready to put the pandemic behind her.
When stuff gets better, I can be closer to my friends and we can get back to normal so we don't have to wear masks in stores and wherever we go.
A CDC panel voted unanimously to approve emergency use of the vaccine for children.
I feel this is a safe and effective vaccine with more benefits than risk.
The government says 15 million shots will be available nationwide by Monday. In a statement, the president called it a major step forward for our nation in our fight to defeat the virus. But surveys show some concerned parents will wait to get their kids vaccinated or choose not to vaccinate them at all.
I'm not giving that vaccine to any of my children.
The CDC reports there have been 1.9 million COVID cases among 5 to 11-year-olds, 8,300 hospitalizations, and at least 94 confirmed deaths, with African American, Hispanic, and Native American kids at 3 times the risk for hospitalization. Leading pediatricians say vaccinating this age group is critical to ending the pandemic.
I think people should realize that a choice not to get a vaccine is not a risk-free choice. It's a choice to take a different risk, and I would argue a more serious risk.
Gosh, you are the bravest.
A risk parents are weighing today as this new option becomes available. The Pfizer vaccine for children is 1/3 the adult dose, but like adults, children will get 2 shots spaced 3 weeks apart, meaning many children could be fully vaccinated by Christmas. In Washington, Chris Pallone, 17 News.
5:04 is our time now, and California's vaccine mandate continues to stir up controversy in towns and cities up and down the state. Here in Kern County, we've seen protesters venting at local school board meetings recently, and the protests have largely been in public schools. But yesterday, a group called Faithful for Freedom gathered at St. Francis Parish School in Bakersfield for a peaceful protest against the COVID vaccine mandate. We asked the protesters if they understood the consequences a school board could face if they did not follow the mandate, which could result in a large fine, even jail time.
We don't want our school board to go to jail. We certainly don't want our principal to go to jail. We want to partner with them, and what we want to do is peacefully reach out to Bishop Brennan up in Fresno, and we want him to basically offer his shield or his support for all of his flock. We are his flock, he's our shepherd, and we want him to say enough is enough. This is a line in the sand for a lot of us.
This was not the only group protesting the vaccine mandate. A different group protested at Monday night's Kern High School District Board meeting. Meantime, we learned yesterday another 271 people have been infected with COVID-19. Although it may seem low, the data shows there is still an increase in transmission here in our community. No new deaths were reported yesterday. 226 people are in the hospital with more severe symptoms. 61 more are in the ICU.
In 17 News is your local election headquarters. Early returns show voters in Taft are overwhelmingly in favor of a 1-cent sales tax increase. 546 people voted on Measure A yesterday. It was the only item on the ballot. The measure was adopted by Taft City Council in August and requires a simple majority to pass. The council cited rising costs of first responders and the economic downturn caused by COVID among the factors behind the proposal. The tax would generate an estimated $1.6 million annually. Right now, Kern County Elections Office is reporting 74% in favor of the measure, 26% against it. The Elections Office says the results are final but not certified.
From our follow-up file this morning, East High continues to remember one of its own. 18-year-old Destiny Ayala graduated from East High School last June and died a few days later after ingesting fentanyl at a graduation party. most likely not knowing what she was taking. The East High volleyball team she played for last year has used her energy and her spirit to guide them this season, and it's paid dividends on the court. They hosted a section semifinal match last night, and Destiny, in her coach's words, is their 7th man. East High won in 5 sets, winning the 5th set 16-14 to advance.
And we play for Destiny every day. They touch every game. They touch the jersey. We talk about that. We want her legacy. Everybody is watching us to understand what we went through, what we lost, and maybe save some young person's life.
Bakersfield police are also putting up billboards around town featuring Destiny, raising awareness about the danger of fentanyl here in our community. And just a reminder, you can watch Robert Price's in-depth look on the rising use of fentanyl here in Kern County and the lives the deadly drug has taken. Just head to kget.com/fentanyl for Robert's 5-part series, Fentanyl, the Counterfeit Killer. All right, Kat, thanks so much. And we are recapping our top stories on this Wednesday. And after months of study, the CDC director has given emergency approval for young children to get vaccinated against COVID-19. The sign-off means 28 million kids from ages 5 through 11 are now eligible to get the vaccine made by Pfizer. 15 million shots will be available nationwide by Monday. The decision comes as protesters continue to make their voices heard at local school board meetings. Yesterday, a group called Faithful for Freedom gathered at St. Francis Parish School for a peaceful protest against the COVID vaccine. A different group protested at Monday night's Kern High School District Board meeting. Early returns show voters in Taft are overwhelmingly in favor of a 1-cent sales tax increase. 546 people voted on Measure A yesterday. It was the only item on the ballot. The tax would generate an additional $1.6 million for the city every year.
This morning, the closely watched Virginia governor's race is all but over. The Associated Press projects Republican Glenn Youngkin has defeated Democrat Terry McAuliffe.
And the results could have given insight into the 2022 midterms and a snapshot of how voters are feeling about President Biden's time so far in office. Leading up to the election, polling data showed a neck-and-neck race between McAuliffe and Youngkin, who focused on schools in a bid to win a state former President Trump lost by 10 points.
It's always a question of which voters from the pool actually show up. And Democrats have had a terrible time this fall, mainly because of what's going on in Washington, getting Democratic voters excited.
Meantime, NBC News is projecting Eric Adams will win New York City's mayoral race. The victory will make Adams the 2nd black man to become mayor in the city's history. Adams, the Brooklyn Borough president and former police captain, defeated Republican Curtis Sliwa.
This morning in so many parts of the U.S., there's a severe shortage of child care workers, and it's bringing new obstacles for parents returning to work. Michelle Lee from our St. Louis affiliate KSDK reports.
How are we going to solve this mystery?
Daycare owner Alicia Lanier is frustrated.
Our enrollment is down, and we have a waiting list of like 375.
Lanier says it's been challenging to fill the open teaching job she has at her Urban Sprouts Daycare Center after some employees quit during the pandemic. She scaled back enrollment to maintain a state-mandated student-to-teacher ratio.
What do you think is driving the shortage here?
There are folks in the field who have decided to leave because of the pay, and now because of the pandemic and the stress, it's really not worth what they are being compensated.
Nationally, the child care services industry is down more than 108,000 workers. The average child care worker makes about $12 an hour. Over 10 million jobs, from healthcare to hospitality, are open across the country. Lanier School serves mostly families of color, some low income.
Can I get a kiss?
Angela Blackshear helps take care of her grandkids.
Love you.
But childcare has been crucial for her daughter, who is a single mom.
It becomes challenging for us. We do pickups, drop-offs. You know, we got 3 different kids in 3 different locations.
But enrolling the kids at Urban Sprouts together has been tough. Blackshear's granddaughter has been on the wait list for a year.
Not only is there a limited access, there's limited choice. We should be able to find locations that can meet our needs.
Can you build a tower of yellow?
A few miles away, Kristen Skibo runs Faith Academy and is giving bonuses, wage hikes, and incentives at all 3 of her centers, but is still falling short in staffing.
We have had to scale back. Our infant room at this location can hold 14 babies, and right now we have 4 in that room.
Back at Urban Sprouts, Lanier says filling the open positions is a top priority.
I believe that if we invest in our children, we'll start to see a change in our economy. We've got to start prioritizing children, and we will start to see a different America.
Michelle Lee, NBC News, St. Louis.
Here at home today, local leaders will gather in South Bakersfield to celebrate the renaming of Cottonwood Road to South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Supervisor Leticia Perez, Councilman Eric Arias, Assemblymember Rudy Salas, and activist Arlena Waller are expected to announce the renaming later this morning. Supervisor Perez says she's hopeful the change will bring new momentum to the historically black neighborhood. In the past year, the area has seen the opening of the new Martin Luther King Jr. elementary renovations to Bell Terrace Park and newly installed sidewalks and streetlights.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.